everybody, my name's Kiahonfire and welcome to a brand new video on Conan Exiles. Today we're looking into sorcery magic. What are the new spells you can use right now in the exiled lands? So let's take a look at it. So you can see my little camp here, very fancy. You're going to have to learn all your spells via this. It's a very nice bench here, and you're going to need a wand to do this. And for some spells, you're also going to need different pouches and stuff like that. So you want to make sure you have enough pouches to do different spells and other things. Anyway, let's have a look at all the different spells in the game now. All the magic coming to Conan Exiles. So you're going to start off, you're going to either hit control or just your, hit key, whatever you hit things with. And you're going to get a bunch of these. Now, depending on how many spells you use, is depending on how many rocks show up. Right now I know all the spells, so I can see all the rocks. So we're going to start off on the... we're going to start off on the right side, because I think that's probably one of the best ones to look at. And we get a few more options. Now, if it ever says escalate, it means you need more corruption on your character to cast the spells, and there will be more spells that way. This one is someone throws a bridge or conjure gusts of air to slowly descend. So we're going to start with the Featherfalling. And you're going to cast that, and then suddenly you have a slow fall. So if you're perhaps coming down from a mountain and you can't be asked to slide down the wall, you could always use a slow fall instead. And that might be a good option for you to use instead. It also means you have a nicer jump as well. You stay in the air a lot longer. It could be good for getting away faster, I suppose, using this. So that could be some handy stuff. Alright, I'm going to try and make an ice bridge to the pillar. I don't think it will reach because it's not quite that long, but I'll give it a go. So we're getting up our options again. I'm going into the same category. And this time, it does take a little bit to come up. I'm going to summon a frozen bridge, and then I'm going to point at where I want it to go. So I want it to go to the pillar. Oh yeah, I think we did it. Yay! And you can see I now have a bridge to the pillar. Very, very nice. Very nice ice bridge. Easy clap. Quite a big bridge as well. There you go. So you can do this as long as you're pointing it in the right direction. You can make it to different places now and enjoy. So that's my ice bridge. It won't last forever because when it cracks, it will crumble like you're crumbling building pieces. So that's what will happen to the ice bridge when it's done. So there we go. You can see it's now fallen over. I think the animation's a bit buggy at the moment in this version. You can see it's very weird. But yeah, that's what will happen. In our next spell, we're going to escalate the right-hand side tree with a lightning bolt, and we're going to, go into the next section. And we have another 3 spells and another escalate. So we can now summon a Molten Magma from the planet's core. We can channel darkness and terror to surround your being, or harvest minerals in the area. So we're going to start with the magma wall. I'm going to just plop that down there somewhere. There we go. And you can see I've popped in a firewall in the area. Now, this could be useful as a barrier, I suppose, if you wanted to go around it, or if you have things very near it, it gets very hot and starts damaging them. If they touch it, it also hurts them. But you can see it's making me extremely hot, very hot, all of that. If I was to sit on it, it would also be bad for me, like I would die pretty quickly. So that is the firewall. Going into our skills again, we're going in the raw force nature section. There we go. And then we're going to now try out the darkness one, which I believe you've all seen because they advertise the absolute balls out of it. There you go. You make the whole area dark. Now, it doesn't just make it really dark and hard to see, it also makes these webs on the floor. Now, depending on terrain, these webs are not always easy to see. Like, when you're not in the sand or in the grass, it's really hard to see the webbings. On the sand, it's actually quite easy to see them. And you can see I literally can't see anything in here very well. Like, it is really dark. And those webs, by the way, just to show you, give you cripple. So if you land in them, you'll be stuck in them for quite a while. And they cripple you, so they're not exactly the most fun. Our next one is a resource one, so I'm going to stand in a resourceful area to show it off. These can harvest any resources and stuff like that. So I'm going to go over, let's go in the middle here, why not? Let's go say hello to Mr. Rhino. I'm going to stand here, and while we watch him beat up a crocodile or something, I'm going to do our next nature spell. So we go in there, we're going to escalate it, and then we're going to do this one, which is probably one of the coolest spells in here, I'm not going to lie. So we're going to cast it, we need a pouch for it, and boom! There we go! Now I didn't have to do a thing, and now I am full of wood, bark, resin, vines, all of these good things I've just collected doing that spell. So that's a really nice little spell to do, to craft, to get resources. You can do it on metal and stuff as well if you want. Just a really quick way to get some resources. Now we can escalate our tree even further if we want as well. We can go to the 40%, I believe it was, corruption. So we're going to escalate it. And escalate it again. Oh, yeah, 40%. And that gives me one more skill. And that is the Primal Force. So I can now bring across a lightning storm for a pouch. So here we go. There's my lightning storm. Now let me bring in some subjects to show you this. Now say I'm bringing in a couple wolves in the storm, some thralls as well. You can see that person almost just died immediately. Now it doesn't always hit them accurately, but it can do. So sometimes the lightning won't hit a person or anything, and sometimes it will. And when it does a lot of damage. So you can see all these people here. If it targets them, it's probably going to be pretty deadly actually. Oh, it just zapped the top of my building. I see you. Right, let's see if it will hit. Because usually it will, or it get close. You just saw it missed. Oh, there we go. That was a good hit. Just killed that thrall. Oh, wow, another one. Just killed another one. Those wolves will probably get that thrall, but if the lightning hits them again, then it will be pretty deadly if it does get them. They're going for it. Oh, as you see, just hit them again. So pretty incredible lightning storm. It kills thralls pretty easily, so if you put it in a camp of thralls, then that's an easy way to, I suppose, get religious stuff if you wanted to. Or it's just a fun way to do stuff. It's a pretty deadly spell, so be careful with using it. And it also seems to like zapping my tent, apparently, so... Going into our next tree, we're going into the Unreal tree, which is the second on the right. You get the choice of escalating, or you can start with the conceal physical effects of corruption. So if you get really corrupted with your character, you will go very veiny and weird looking. So if I do this again, it might actually make me look corrupt again. So let me try it again. Yep, it does. So if I want to turn myself back to corrupt, I can. So you can see my character looks very moldy with the corruption. There we go. Looks pretty gross and veiny and all of that. If I don't like the look of that, I can always just get rid of it with the same spell. So I'm going to do it again so you can actually see what it does. And there we go. You can see I go back to normal. On the next list we have some more things. We're going to escalate the mirror power because we're going to see mirrors in general. So you can see in here we have the channel of illusion, and then we have the mirror effect. So I'm going to actually mirror myself behind me. There we go, there's a mirror of myself. So now anytime like a thrall comes along, they're going to be really distracted by this mirror version of me. And this could be good if you're in a camp and you're having trouble getting a T4 thrall that you really want. You could cast this illusion, because the thralls get absolutely enthralled by this. They love it. So if you use this instead, it lasts really long, and the thralls will go after that, and that means you can pick off your T4 that you want, and this mirror can be a distraction, so it's actually really good. The other ability is Invisibility, which is also pretty good. I did try it out with someone, and it does look kind of obvious, but when you do it with someone in game, and you're not expecting it, you don't always see it. Like, it's hard to see. So we're going to make ourselves invisible. There you go. And I might look pretty obvious to you right now, but if you're looking at a certain angle, like in the grass or something, or you're not expecting this at all, then sometimes it's actually kind of hard to see it, and you'd have to be looking for it. So it might look obvious with me now because I can see it in general, but when you put it against other backgrounds, it's not always the easiest to see. You can see in the trees it gets a little harder to see and stuff like that. So if someone else is running past like this, then it's not always the easiest to see, and maybe someone will sneak up on you before you know. But as soon as you interact, you will appear, so you don't stay invisible all the time. When you attack, you lose it. Moving on to our next tree, because we're done with the mirror tree now, we're going to go to summon and control demons. You can see I only have one thing for this, because this does our favourite spell, which is the bat flying, which is absolutely awesome. You're going to see for this I need a cloth pouch and 20% corruption, so let me just grab that. Alright, and let's call in the bat. This is probably one of my favourite spells. It is so much fun. I love it. There we go, and up into the skies. You can actually fly higher, go lower, and just glide along as well. However you like. But you do need to keep an eye on your stamina bar, because the more you use, well, it will drop you after a while if you go too far into the red, you know. So you need to be careful how long you're using for and where you're going to land yourself. So it might be an ideal thing to actually fly over rivers, or you could always just plan to go down as well. That's also a thing that you could do. So dropping myself now, and I drop myself in a lake. That was a good idea. But the bat is awesome. I love using the bat. You can get to really high spaces and places, no problem. And my mirror is still going. That's pretty incredible. It lasts for a while. I really like that. It does need to last for a while to be useful. It's even distracted a dire wolf over there. So that's the only one in the middle at the moment, and it's a very, very cool one. I hope later in the game maybe you can do different things as well. Like maybe you can fly on a Jill as well, I don't know. The next one is wields forces of life, death, and undead. And you're given both of the wisps. I'm going to show this in a dark cave, because otherwise you don't get it. So for now I'm going to escalate it so you see the other skill you get in here. This one is a very new one that you haven't really, well, you probably haven't seen before. It is a terrible fog. So what the terrible fog does is you cannot see very much in this fog. And then if there's anything in the area, undead will spawn. Actually, there's an undead spawning right now. So there's going to be loads of undead spawning out of the ground, and they're going to attack people for you. Now, they don't have very much health, but they do hit pretty hard. And it might be quite fun to do, because it's almost like having your own purge. You see another one over there? So now, if anything mean is in here, they will go after them, and they will try and destroy them. You see actually quite a lot of spawning right now. It's a great example. This is cool. It will spawn loads of undead, and they will go after things and whatever else in this, you know, murky depth. And you can't always see the way out because it's so white and everything. It's hard to see. But when you're on your way out, you can actually see it from quite far away. If someone's doing one of those, you can see quite a lot. And I can even see the health popping up in the pool. So yeah, they're really quite cool. I could actually see some zombies spawning in there, actually. That's really, really cool. But yeah, you'll see someone doing this from a mile away. It's a pretty cool ability, and it's some good fun. Going over to a cave, this is where my wisp is going to become useful. So I'm going to go in here, and I don't want to use a torch. I want to use my wisp. So I'm going to go into the Wield Forces Life and Death, which is a green symbol. And now I'm going to have an illuminating wisp. You see, I shoot a wisp into the air, and now it's going to follow me and light up the cave. Now, one thing I'll say about the wisp is it doesn't really last as long as it needs to, and the smoke is kind of annoying in your face, but you can make your camera go down against the floor, and it's less intrusive. Or you can use the first-person vision for this. But it does light up pretty well. It's pretty good. And there's another option you can use as well. I'm going to put it on the wall, hopefully. And this one's a standby one you can use for bosses and stuff if you like. So I'm going to put it on the wall over there. See, I shot... Oh, did I actually shoot into the... Oh. That wasn't supposed to happen. Let me try that again. Apparently I just shot the imp instead. What I was supposed to do is light up the wall. Let's do it on the floor. Maybe it's the mesh or something. So you're going to do the middle, going to point down. Oh, it's not working. Okay, what it usually does is put like a little light on the floor or wherever you look at. And yes, you'll have a standby light instead of one that follows you around. So if you prefer that, you can use that instead. Our next ability is in the Veil of Time. Past, present, future. The one on the left. You have reveal nearby cursed objects. So you're going to see corrupted objects and arcane corruption. So if someone else is using sorcery and is corrupt, you'll be able to see them with this, is from what I understand. And then with this one, you're going to be able to see like iron and all those rare resources. And it's going to have like an X-ray on it, but we need a burlap pouch, so I'm going to quickly get that. So we're going to start with this one, rare resources. I'll turn that on. Now from what I've seen, this vision actually makes my frames drop quite hard. It's actually quite bad in the Testlive version. But we can already see it seeing some resources down there. It is very laggy when you use this, but you can see everything around you, so it's going to highlight those irons and stuff like that. You should be able to find it. And it's the exact same vision with the other one as well, if you're curious. So we'll quickly do that while we're having this kind of vision, because the lagging is pretty bad. Or the framing of the animation is one of the two. But it just looks really janky. Anyway, corrupt objects. So now, if there's anything corrupt nearby, we should see it, and it should highlight, like if someone else is using the same things like us, like the sorcery, you will be able to see it. Now I'm going to wait for this effect to wear off because it is ass. And that is pretty much for all the spells that you can use in the game so far. They may add some new ones by the time it releases, who knows. But those are all the trees you can use and all the new spells that you can go ahead and learn. I just wanted to show them all off to you today if you were interested on what you're going to be getting very, very soon. Look forward to more videos. If you like this one, please do subscribe. It really helps the channel. We're nearly to 30k, so happy days. But anyway, thank you for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!